What's going on, internet? Hopefully, I'm sounding good. I got these fucking headphones on, so shit sound good. Still in the testing phase. But we gonna do this shit together. I wanted to go ahead and come on here and say there's a lot of shit going on in the markets, and it's just what it is. It's what it's supposed to be. It's what I said it was going to do. Let's hear what today's news is together, and then I can just get my rhetoric out through the course of this shit right here. All right.
Together we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world.
Breaking news, this is amazing. Pro-crypto regulations, policies, and approvals continue to be pushed forward in the United States, including the Solana ETF launching today, the SEC fully dropping its case against Ripple, completely, 100%. You heard about
America the undisputed Bitcoin super. Together we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world.
breaking news, this is amazing. Pro-crypto regulations, policies, and approvals continue to be pushed forward in the United States, including the Solana ETF launching today, the SEC fully dropping its case against Ripple, completely, 100%. You heard about this in yesterday's video. The SEC confirming that proof of work Bitcoin mining does not violate securities laws. Staking may be soon added to Ethereum and other proof of stake ETFs. Smash the like button, guys. Send this information out to as many people as possible, because on top of all of this, President Donald Trump headlined at another crypto conference today, the Digital Asset Summit. He sent in this video with the key takeaways being strategic crypto reserve is real and serious. Stablecoin regulation is coming next. The US will be the crypto capital of the world. Hey, Altcoin Daily Nation, you need to sign up for the Bitcoin Reward credit card by our partner Fold. Reserve your spot today. Only so many waitlist spots are being
at the Blockworks
disputed Bitcoin superpower. Listen.
A very big hello to everyone at the Blockworks Digital Assets Summit. It's an honor to speak with you about how the United States is going to dominate crypto and the next generation of financial technologies. And it's not going to be easy, but we're way ahead. Just 2 weeks ago, we hosted the first ever White House Digital Asset Summit, bringing together many of the world's top leaders in crypto for a conversation led by our White House AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, who's a fantastic and very brilliant guy. That same week, I signed an order creating the brand new strategic Bitcoin reserve and the U.S. digital asset stockpile, which will allow the federal government to maximize the value of its holdings instead of foolishly selling them for a fraction of their long-term value, which is exactly what Biden did. He got a fraction of their value. We're ending the last administration's regulatory war on crypto and Bitcoin, and that includes stopping the lawless Operation Choke Point 2.0. Operation Choke Point went beyond regulation, and I mean far beyond. It was a form of lawfare through government weaponization. Frankly, it was a disgrace. But as of January 20th, 2025, all of that is over. I've also called on Congress to pass landmark legislation creating simple, common sense rules for stablecoins and market structure. With the right legal framework, institutions large and small will be liberated.
You know, I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna say this. Uh, I know this shit is scripted and everything, but in this shit right here, Trump sounds like a president. He sounds like a president talking. He sounds like he knows some shit. He understands some shit. He's putting it in action. When I heard Trump talk on the crypto shit before, it was kind of like bad stick. It was like bad comedy, like 80s comedy. Yeah, we're gonna pump it up to the moon. This, that, and the third. That's not what I'm hearing here. It seemed like he really damn. It made him remember this shit. He remembers this shit. He knows it well. He understands markets well. He can talk about tariffs for a really long time. One on a lot of people have been born. So that's that. Let's continue on with this.
Incorporated to invest, innovate, and take part in one of the most exciting technological revolutions in modern history. It's so big, it's, I think, as big as you can get. Pioneers like you will be able to improve our banking and payment system and promote greater privacy, safety, security, and wealth for American consumers and businesses alike. You will unleash an
Hey,
explosion
what's
of
going
economic
on?
growth, and with the dollar backed stablecoins, you'll help expand the dominance of the US dollar. And many, many years to come, it'll be at the top, and that's where we want to keep it. We only want to keep it at the top always. I can already see that the energy and passion of the crypto community is the kind of
How you
spirit that
doing?
built our country. And it is exciting to watch as you invent the future of finance. And right here, it's going to be right here in the USA, the good old USA. Together, we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and the crypto capital of the world. Thank you. Good luck. God bless America.
So much is happening in crypto. You can see that when markets start to turn around, there's a lot that has yet to be priced in for Bitcoin and crypto. So,
Okay, so for the slow people in the back, what this means is that it's about to be ridiculous. And all the smart money, all the people of the top 1%, like I say in all of my videos, is buying this shit right now. This is a tactic to scare people out of their positions. And you kind of got to do that with this. So I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Here we go. Let's get back to this clip.
let's talk about what comes next. There are so many positive things that are about to bubble up. If you subscribe to us, you already know that the SEC fully dropped its case against Ripple yesterday. This is a huge step for XRP holders. This is a giant leap for the crypto industry at large.
Let me do this disclaimer. This channel, we don't fuck with XRP. Yes, I hold XRP, but in my mind, and this is not financial advice, but in my mind, with the things that I know, it can be manipulated in a lot of ways by a lot of different hands, just the same as anything else. XRP is on a blockchain, but is centralized to a point. So it defeats the whole purpose. It's a fake crypto. It's like fucking. And look, I fought with Gary Gensler before Gary Gensler was in office and doing shit in the government. I was watching his MIT courses because he was the only one talking about crypto on there. So I would wake up, go to sleep, and wake up to his MIT courses and shit. Very familiar with Gary Gensler, and I think he's going to be looked at as a hero after everybody lose their ass trying to jump into crypto and think they know something and they fall for all the scams and they're going to be fucked up. And the people who's scamming them is going to take that and get more Bitcoin because that's the whole shit. Motherfuckers going to try to tell you about all kind of other shit, but they're going to take that money they get from you and put it in Bitcoin. Just figured I'd take that. But this is not financial advice. This is just my crazy opinion. I'm a crazy person. I'm just not diagnosed. But, I'm an American.
4 years, we spent over $150 million defending that case, not just for Ripple, but for the whole industry. I think it was really important that this SEC, the Gensler SEC, was really trying to bully and continue lawfare, filing lawsuits against crypto companies. That's over now, and I think that's great for the U.S. crypto industry and, frankly, great for crypto at large.
So what you're going to see, what the world is about to see, is sweeping pro-crypto legislation getting passed in America. First, a stablecoin bill, then a market.
Gary Gensler was in office and he was stopping all of that shit and he was regulating it. He was regulating it in a way to where, yeah, it was working for the people who put him in that position, but at the same time, it was stopping scams. This legislation and the way they're doing it, they're gonna put all this shit out here. A lot of people is gonna lose a lot, not understanding this shit, fucking around. It's just what it is, you know. So yeah, Gary Gensler, when the history books damn speak of this time, they're gonna say Gary Gensler stopped all that shit. Once they got him the fuck out of there, a lot of people lost their ass. That's what they're gonna say when they talk about Gary Gensler. I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? But he was trying to help you motherfuckers, yeah. Y'all just didn't understand this shit. And that's why he was trying to make it so they couldn't do what they're about to do to you now. That's what he was trying to help y'all with.
Market structure bill.
Right now, Congress, it seems, is more focused on getting stablecoin legislation passed. That went for markup last week, and I think you'll see that potentially in front of the president in weeks. The other piece of legislation I think will move quickly after that is kind of the market structure bill. Last summer, something called FIT 21 passed the House, did not get through the Senate. I think that a market structure bill like FIT 21 will come before Congress. Hopefully before the summer recess, we'll see that pass also.
And Brad Garlinghouse says banks are really positioning themselves to custody crypto and go full crypto. Listen to this.
So when you think about what's possible in terms of financial institutions, there's been a lot of conversation about loosening of regulations and red tape when it comes to the financial industry and its interactions with the crypto community. What are you actually seeing happen? Are banks really warming up in a way that's significant right now?
I mean, I think unequivocally, yes. I mean, just in the last few weeks, I have seen U.S. financial institutions go from being like, look, we're just not going to touch it because we don't want the extra scrutiny of the regulators, which again, may or may not have even been legal, given these are legal businesses. But you have large banks who used to say negative things, now saying positive things. I think the two areas you'll see the most activity in the short term, one is around custody. These are banks that want to be able to custody, particularly when you see real world assets being tokenized. You need to be able to safely manage and custody that for customers and potentially for the bank. And the second is around payments. I mean, the global payments infrastructure still remains very dated. Wires are slow. I just had a wire that was sending over euros disappear for 5 days. That's surprising in a world of the internet.
So besides the stablecoin bill, besides the market structure bill, those two are probably next. The other big bill on the table right now is Cynthia Lummis's Bitcoin bill, where the U.S. buys 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years. Michael Saylor tweeted out this.
The Cynthia Loomis chick, I fuck with her. Her and the Kennedy guy, they was talking at the first Bitcoin conference where they was all the presidential candidates came out. The Kennedy guy knew what the fuck he was talking about. If he was running, I would have voted. I would have sacrificed some of my freedoms. I would have said, yes, govern me. I'm incompetent and I can't be governed. Well, I could, I'm saying I can't govern myself. That's what it is. I would have did that because he was talking that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the Cynthia Loomis chick, she was talking that shit too. So the two best people in government that I see right now on some crypto shit that understands this shit that can actually help the country and put us in the right direction is Cynthia Loomis and the Kennedy guy. They know what the fuck is going on.
This clip of House Majority Whip Tom Emmer going on record saying, I believe that before this Congress is done, the Bitcoin Act will be enacted. This would be huge.
The thing you're talking about, two answers. One, yes, there's legislation. I think there are different members that have different versions. I'm pretty sure Nick Begich, our new member from Alaska, is one of them who's, he is.
He loves Bitcoin and Mt. Gox, so
I'm telling you,
he's OG.
Nick is great. But so yes, there is legislation, and I believe that before this Congress is done, that will be enacted.
Okay, that's great to hear.
Michael Saylor at the same conference reaffirming his prediction that Bitcoin will be worth 13 million in now 20 years.
I can stand here and I can tell you that I think the price of Bitcoin will go to 13 million over 20 years. I couldn't say that about a security. You have legal immunity to actually express your opinion about a commodity. That makes commodities politically superior, legally superior, ethically superior, financially superior to a non-commodity, to a security. And it's not just a little bit better, it's 100 times better, right? And so Bitcoin is a commodity. Bitcoin is actually the commodity. I studied commodities in my early professional years. Every other commodity can be created with technology, with capital, with know-how. If you were going to take your family's life savings and buy a commodity to hold for 100 years, and you thought about it, would you buy soybeans or corn or oil or natural gas or lumber, coal, silver? Well, no, they're all awful, and you know why they're awful, because it's pretty obvious to you that 100 years ago it was harder to make those things than it is today. And if the price of oil goes to $1,000 a barrel, we're going to frack it, triple frack it, hyper frack it, and we'll drive the price of oil down.
Michael Saylor even getting a little philosophical on how Bitcoin is perfect money.
If Bitcoin is digital money, what else is it? Well, truth number 12. Bitcoin is perfect money. What is perfect money? If you read the writings of the Austrian economists, von Mises and Hayek, they write about money, but they couldn't conceive of perfect money. Voltaire, Aristotle, Plato, they couldn't conceive of perfect money. Why? They didn't have the technology. It's kind of like asking Aristotle, tell me about clean water. How do you understand clean water if you don't have a microscope and you don't understand that there are pathogens in the water? Nobody understood perfect money until Satoshi gave it to us, and that's because it was impossible to create perfect money before modern semiconductors, modern internet, modern cryptography.
I'm so bullish on crypto this year. The regime change we're seeing in the US around crypto isn't just going to have positive effects on crypto in 2025. This is going to have positive effects on Bitcoin and crypto for the next 10 plus years. So guys, subscribe to our channel, join our team. My name is Aaron at Altcoin Daily. So much is happening in the space. I keep you informed on a daily basis. Comment your
Oh, fuck, man.
As tariffs,
I kind of heard this earlier in the background, but this is the video that I wanted to go ahead and play for y'all, so you could
continue to fear investors.
get something out of this. Cause this guy, he's saying some basic common sense shit, but it's true.
As tariffs continue to fear investors out of their positions big time, what if we are right now getting evidence that the balance is going to come faster than something that comes extremely fast? So if you understand that when this market pumps, it's going to pump pretty fast. Hit that like and subscribe. Get signed up with Femex below. No KYC or VPN required if you use my link below. And without any further ado, let's take a look at what we see today, which is still the S&P, the NASDAQ, all the way down here in terms of their percentage moves. Bitcoin still, although struggling a little bit more than on Friday, still holding up better than the stock indices, than the stock market in general. And as we saw, the S&P 500 has largest intraday swing between loss to gain since November of 2008. That's pretty big. This was due to a fake news headline on X, which caused a huge gain in the S&P 500. I don't usually say things are big, but this right here is pretty big. But really what this signaled and told us is something a lot bigger. Specifically, the market ripped on potentially fake news. That's the proof we need that the market is going to send the second tariffs are either negotiated, removed, or there's some conclusion or ending of the uncertainty we're currently seeing. And it's a race to get in before it explodes. I think the major takeaway here is that we just got this evidence that if we look at, this is Bitcoin. If we look at, for example, the stock market or the S&P 500 specifically, You can see this is on the daily chart. Actually, some green today, and even on the weekly a little bit. Very big moves to the downside, but we see this volatility specifically because we just got, and I already knew this was the case, and I think a lot of you probably already knew this as well, but we just got complete confirmation of it. Very similar to somebody actually left a comment about the fake news about like the Bitcoin ETFs, which ended up being true. Was it like the Cointelegraph intern who had like the fake post that said ETFs were approved? But then they did get approved, but the market pumped massively back in like October of 2023, I believe. And then at the beginning of 2024, we did get the spot ETFs and the market went crazy, just like that fake tweet back in October of 2023 told us. Very similar, most likely, to exactly what we're seeing here, where I think we are going to see the stock market completely rip, as well as Bitcoin and a lot of these tech stocks and risk on assets in general rip massively when there is some conclusion to these tariffs. And right now, it's all due to the uncertainty. This market is just extremely uncertain, more so than, I mean, in years, probably at least in the last decade, because of what's going on with these tariffs. But the biggest thing here is that as we just got more confirmation, more proof of, this fear, this uncertainty can be lifted instantly. So even though we're watching the stock market go down, for example, we see the SPX down currently was about like 22%, which is a recession. Currently, it's about 17% again because we had a big bounce. We saw a nice, massive intraday swing. This market is going to explode very fast when it does. When exactly is it going to explode? Nobody on the planet except maybe Trump or something could tell you exactly when. But the thing is, if you're waiting for that exact moment, it's going to be very, very, very hard to time that because it's so random. It's so it's based on a human decision, basically. It's basically based on an announcement. And so it can happen like this. However, I have become extremely bearish now because Jim Cramer is telling us not to panic. That's the ultimate signal that actually we should probably be panicking like our lives depend on it. This is actually extremely scary, extremely bearish. Just kidding. But also, I mean, Jim Cramer is pretty reliable at saying the opposite. But we also see stock markets today, Hong Kong down double-digit percents. We see Taiwan, Japan, Italy. Stock markets across the world are down, right? But the bigger picture is everybody having a good time, right? Because no, stocks are going down. In fact, is the world ending? Potentially, if you read Twitter. We see BlackRock's CEO, Larry Fink, saying that he would not rule out another 20% drop in the market. That's quite large as well. Currently, the SPX, for example, as we said, is down about 17 or so percent. Let's just say from where we currently are, we dropped another 20%. That would be a $4,000 SPX. Wait, so what would the total drawdown of that be? That'd be like maybe like a 35% correction. That would be insane. If we actually look back, this is on the weekly, and I kind of just want to see how this is similar to the COVID crash back here in 2020. From peak to trough, there's about a 35% drop. So what he's basically saying is, don't be surprised if we got another 35% drop, just like COVID. Could it happen? Sure. I guess, right? I mean, nobody knows. That's actually the craziest part about all of this, is that nobody actually knows for sure. Nobody on the planet knows for sure where this is going to lead us. But if we saw another 35% drop or something, the only thing that I know is if we did see that similar to in 2020, that would be the best buying opportunity of the last 2 decades. Now, currently we're down like half that or a little less. So it would be early to jump the gun on that, but anything is possible, right? We also see that President Trump has just canceled a press conference with Prime Minister Netanyahu after he flew in to negotiate a tariff deal. So that's potentially big. We're seeing as well, we look at TechDev's post here on X, so many charts, pretty much every chart, showing that a bottom is in. And actually I posted a tweet by TechDev last week, and I was getting some negative comments about it, basically being like, don't post his content because it's wrong or something. But all of these charts are just objective data. There's not like
If you have been to my channel before, you know that I talk a lot about website design. Bluehost has a new AI website creator. The first thing that we're going to do is sign up for a Bluehost account. Now that we have the WordPress installed, I'm going to show you guys how the website creator works. So the first thing that we're going to do is tell it some details about the design. I recommend that you make sure to give it some details on the colors that you like, on the overall vibe and style that you like. After a few more questions, it now generates 3 different versions of the website. Version 3 is our best bet. Let's start with that and continue on to editing it on our own. So here is what the website looks like now that I've made all of my edits and my additions. It's a really helpful tool for people who want to get started in web design. Check out Bluehost for your next website design project.
Damn, sorry about that, y'all.
Great content needs a great audience. Like Stretch Armstrong needs to be stretched. Yeah! Woo! Feel the...
I'm over here on my phone. Sorry about that.
All he's saying is all of these metrics are showing us that we have bottomed in terms of Bitcoin price. And even some of the top comments here is what best indicator is the amount of soy boy hate in the comments, meaning a lot of people are posting hate in the comments here. Again, this is just data. It's not saying for sure that we have to bounce here, but if it does, I'm just saying I wouldn't be very surprised, and I don't think a lot of people will be surprised if we do. As well, Jason from the All In podcast and early investor in Uber said that he's sticking with his prediction that Trump will declare victory by tomorrow. Vietnam, the EU, and Japan are more than enough to take a round one victory lap. We're pausing on country to come to the table and negotiate. I have a mixed opinion on this because it seems like Trump wants to let these tariffs actually play out. It doesn't seem, based on what I've seen so far, it doesn't really seem like he's very interested in just like slapping on these tariffs. And then the second someone calls him and says, hey, we'll take our tariffs, he's going to then take back the tariffs. It seems like he wants these tariffs to be in place for a little longer. Maybe it's a bluff. Maybe he wants them to stay in for longer, considering you can find footage of Donald Trump talking about these tariffs for like decades. He's been talking about tariffs for longer than I've been alive, right? So this is something he has thought about for literally longer than I've been alive. It's a long time. And we also see President Trump threatened an additional 50% tariff on China if it does not withdraw its 34% tariff increase. That's pretty big. And we do see as well Bitcoin currently bouncing off of its 50-week moving average. So that's something big to watch. And this is big also. In 2019, Bitcoin crashed to $3,600. 2020, it crashed to $5,400. 2022, it crashed to 15,000. 2024, it crashed to 54,000. And so far this year, we've crashed to 77,000. Anybody not leading you to Bitcoin is misleading you. I hope you see what's going on. That's the thing, right? The longer this goes on, the more consistent, which Bitcoin is like the most consistent thing in finance, it seems like, period. Then really, again, it's the only play. Whether or not Bitcoin goes up tomorrow or next week or next month, whatever, it's very clear what the optimal strategy has been for over a decade now. But yeah, seeing crypto hold up better than stocks is interesting. Really, the major takeaway here is that it's a ticking time bomb of this market is going to explode. It has been crushed and like pushed down like a spring. And at a certain point, it's going to spring back faster than most people really will have an opportunity to even fathom, like to even recognize. It's going to be so fast. But the question is, it's just when, because it could be tomorrow. It could be a month from now. But really, I mean, my genuine, honest opinion is at a certain point, we're going to look at this chart and it's going to be like this. And you're going to be scrambling to put in buy orders up here when you could have been doing it here, or let's say we go lower here, depending on what it is. Again, not a single person on the planet can tell you exactly when it's going to happen. But what today showed us is just further proof, which I already thought was the case anyway. Most of you already thought this was the case anyway. But further proof that when there is some concrete resolution to these tariffs, this market's going to pump harder and faster than it's ever pumped before. And there's a good likelihood, a strong likelihood it even happens this week. And get signed up with the Femex below if you want my Bitcoin altcoins are trade. No KYC or VPN required if you use my link specifically below.